Hey guys, Spirit of the Law here. In this video, I'm going to talk a bit about mods in Definitive Edition 2. First, I'll tell you how to get them, and then I'll show you a few that I'd recommend checking out if you haven't already. For example, I changed my main menu to look like this, and you can too. Now you can search them up on ageofempires.com, but I'd suggest not doing it that way. They have some instructions that involve logging in with your Xbox Live account, downloading the zip file, and then extracting and moving it. That sounds a lot like work. At the same time, there's no Steam Workshop available, so how do you get them? Well, the best option is actually integrated into the game. Under the Mods tab, you come to a page that lists all of the mods that you have. I do like that you can turn them off in the screen without removing them entirely, and you can also sort the order of priority. To find a new one, you just go to Browse Mods at the top, where you can sort by likes and downloads. If you have something specific in mind, like you want a new random map, you can filter for that specifically. Personally, I think this could use a few more filters like they had on the Steam Workshop, where you could sort by the most popular over a particular time period. But this is what we have to work with. So now that you know how to get them, I thought I'd talk about a few popular ones that you guys might be interested in. The first one is always a classic, and it's the Small Trees mod. This is in fact the most popular mod at the moment and was released by AoE Official. Basically, a lot of people love this because it's easier to see holes in your wall and task villagers to specific trees, which admittedly can be hard to do in the vanilla game. That being said, I know a large contingent of people prefer the look of the default trees, and to each their own. On the other hand, if your problem with Small Trees mod is that it doesn't go far enough for you, there's an even smaller trees mod that you might like better. Continuing with the graphics theme, the next mod is the Useless Plant Remover. This takes away the small plants and shrubs that appear randomly around the map. If you do go with a small tree mod, then all of the bushes can start to look a little close to the same size, so this mod just removes those to smooth things out a little bit more. Again, you can see how this might be useful to avoid leaving gaps in your walls. The next is the Improved Grid mod by Zetnus that comes in a snow and no snow version. Now the game does come with a built-in grid option, but some people might prefer the look of this one better. The No Snow mod in its own right was also fairly popular on the Steam Workshop. And speaking of removing snow, the next mod I want to talk about is Green Arabia. If you haven't played it, Green Arabia tries to fix some of the inconsistencies in regular Arabia. First of all, you always start with one of your 4 sheep already converted, so you never have to worry about finding your first one. In some versions in the past, that one sheep you found wasn't always with 3 others, but in Definitive Edition all 4 are always together. You also have a few other things, like guaranteed safe woodlines, ponds never generate in forests beside your town, elevation is decreased and more spread out, cliffs are removed entirely, and just bugs in general have been reduced. It might sound like something made for casual players, but even for high-level games, it just makes things more consistent. You want the game to come down to player skill and not just how lucky your map generation was, and this is an attempt to address that. On the other hand, if a consistent and predictable start sounds terrible to you, the mod database has you covered there as well, with Zetnus's Hyper-Random map. It comes in 2 flavors, Hyper-Random and Hyper-Random Light. It doesn't say exactly what the difference is, but Hyper-Random at least loves to generate some really weird maps. Ever wanted to play Arena Islands with water elevation? What about a game where you start with a 60 attack spy unit and are immediately under siege by wolves? If that sounds great, this is the map for you. Moving on, the next mod I want to talk about is the Improved Tech UI. With 35 civilizations in the game, all with a unique combination of units and techs, it's hard to remember exactly what they all have. That's where this mod comes in. You can see at the bottom of the screen, it gives you a reminder of what units and techs you have available. Remembering all 70 unique techs at the castle can also be tricky, so it's got those as well. If you're just playing for fun or you're new to the game, I could see it being a really useful tool to learn the civilizations. Getting into the really fun stuff though, of course I have to bring up the 9x and 256x tech mods. Both let you research technologies multiple times, and I've talked before about some of the most ridiculous strategies. It's always a lot of fun to play, and it's no wonder it was one of the first mods to be uploaded to Definitive Edition. I highly recommend trying it out at least once if you haven't already. But while this wasn't an exhaustive list by any means, those are a few of the most popular mods that I wanted to spotlight. If there's a great mod you think I missed, be sure to let me know in the comments, and I might make a video trying it out. But that's all for this one. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you next time.